Hey, people. I've been reading a lot. I believe I cracked the case about what it means to be nailed on the cross or hanging on a tree. It's all the same thing. Seems the language change happens somewhere between the Old Testament and the New Testament. But where some Bibles interpret it as, hanging him on a cross, other Bibles interpret it as hung on a tree. Comes from this word Zulu or Zulon, and forms just comes up 20 times. And that's what it says in Galatians in the New Testament. And Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having become for us a curse. And for it had been written, curse everyone hanging on a tree, hung on a cross. And damned everyone hung on a tree. See up here at line 10 it starts, Christ redeemed us. And as many as for our works of the law are under a curse. Don't you know it? Under a curse has been written, for cursed is everyone, and damned everyone who does not continue. All things have been written in the Bible. I tell you, this I-O becomes the E. That's it there, the Bible, the book of life. In the Bible, this is where your word enemy come from. It's not, but that's where they're getting it from. Deuteronomy, the second law. And so it's saying that it was already written in the book of the law. You see here in the last line of Deuteronomy 21, and damned by God is everyone hanging in the tree. So curse means different things, and you see the base is usually a cater spelt with an A-R at the end. But here, this is being cursed by God. This is and the K become an L before the E. Adalecture. Adalecturum in as under. Hypo, under God. Everybody in the world will tell you that means under God. Hypotheo. But it means more hypothe. Hypothe, to be placed of. Hypothe, to being placed of. Face, to face the creme menace, the creme. And so upon a tree has a couple meanings here. Hanging upon a tree, that's monkeys. So there were some things that were banned that you couldn't say about monkeys. And double negative, no. And move height its engine on. The carry as the audios, the words that you ditto see. You ditto see, that's me too. Yeah, I'll have the same for me. What she's having. That's the sheep, the didacy. And the didacy to see, I become the E. And to see inkle, a inkler onomy, a law. In some Bibles they won't have that in there, just be claro, clear. But this is an inkle, and it means a one, an inkler onomy of one law. And so this upon a tree, this does not mean tree. This is a poet's way of writing the tree. It's the Zulu. And this is Zulu up on the cross, up on the tree. The first people that were writing were sailors. Nobody else had anything interesting to write about. Sailors sailed around the world and wrote stories, true or not. They had the best stories. And so all poets want to get on a boat and go sailing and write about their adventures. And so your first day on the boat, you think you're hanging out and you go to light up a cigarette and somebody smacks you in the back of the head. And you look at crazy at him. And he's pointing at Zulu. He's pointing at the tree. And up on the tree, Bravo is flying. And it means no smoking. Even when you're not on the boat, you might be at land doing some drinking, and they call everybody back to the boat and raising their flag. And Papa says, recall. And so to be on the tree is if it's allowed. It's a ways of communication. And that's the only reason you would hang somebody in a tree. You want to communicate something. And when you want to let all the buzzers know to stay out your guard, you kill one and hang him up in the tree. Being cursed by God is everybody hanging up in the tree. And so you see here up against the Hebrew, the hanging upon a tree, this whole phrase was replaced with T Levi, the mark of Levi. And what it means is the TL, the tell and why, meaning how or who. The tell how. And his who is hang is the tell how. And you should hang him. You see the cree on the front of there. That's the only thing the same. The cree, the creme. The creme, that's the royal, the cream. And aset is the woman. The creme is set. And you can see over here that it still has the same letters. They just mix these letters up. This is the tillit, the TLIT. You want to send out a message out there at the front gates, hang somebody on a cross. Everybody comes into town, he's going to tell them. They're going to say, damn, what the hell you did to get hung up on the cross? And everybody's answer is going to be, no, I didn't do nothing. All I did was look at the girl. And they got me hung out here on this cross. And so everybody else that comes in that town, boy, they can be watching their manners. And so this is the same word here, and they removed it, but this is the tell-in, T-L-I-N. Oh, and not telling, no telling, and not sure remain all night. And so this is the tell here, and it's aliphic, and it's more as a cree, it's attached. This is more where the cree belong. And attached, aliphic, medicitage. And accursed by God, he who is hanged, is a syphilit. And a syphilit, all him tell why. So I color coded all this to help. And this here in the pink, this just means that this part of the word wasn't in the Septuagint. They left this word out. This is a double negative. They'll say both of these words mean no. No. And so a hypothe of face, cramming them in as if it's a allow. The way things are placed, hypothe. And a hypothe, the way things are placed of the face, cramming them in as if it's a allow. And of a mummavite, the MH, and OVMH. And the IA becomes a U. And MHM, a mum, and U, the N before the E becomes a bet, the B or the V. A mummavite. A vite, everybody in the Bible, they say the name of the place, and the ite means a person from that place, And a mummavite is a person from the place of shut the hell up. A mummavite, one that ain't talking, end of a mummavite. And hypothe of face cramming as if it's allow, and of mummavite, a mummivited engine, the turning, the mummivited engine on curious audios, the sounds. Every time it says God, that's not God, that's and God said, that's and said, the word. And the audios, and the double S making this one read is a Y, Y-O-U. Not your God, but the sound you ditto see, same, ditto, I'll have the same for the ditto see. Ditto see is the people who don't have a opinion, just I'll go with the same, whatever that hypothe was crammed in my face, the hypothe face cramming as if it's allow, and of mummavite, its engine on curious, the audios you ditto see, to see inkleronomy, a single law, one law for both ditto, everybody getting an inkleronomy, a one law. And so this you should hang up here, this is a cram acid, and it means to jam a pole up their ass. Ancient law, and ought of, if it's allowed. Boy, the way we used to do it, we used to jab a stick up their ass. A cram acid, acid, HTE. That's your Hebrew word for the woman, the acid and the cram acid. And so the ondigenitage in tinum are two. The ondigenitage, where they're from. You see, this is the first God of the Greek Bible on the day, and Genet, let there be light, it's where everything generated from, coming from Genet. And the ondigenitage in tinum, in tin and the IA become a antinum, and they intend to do. In tinum are two, the IA becoming a U, tinum are two. The cry made on it of. There was never a crime, until somebody's cry had landed somewhere. The cry made. They go through Deuteronomy here and they talk about laws. You got to measure between the cities, and if you're dead between the two cities, that nobody's taking care of this unlaw. There's no law there. You're supposed to know better than to go out there if you're a little girl. But the law was, did anybody hear your cry? So if you came into the sheriff and you made a cry, then there was been a crime made, and the cry made on it of. And this TAN is where they get the death. It mixes up many different ways, and sometimes when it's followed by your E, this is where your word, oh Dave, he's a locker, and death, over the side, burial at sea. And so the indigenitage in tinum or to cry made it on it of. And appertain, I believe this means more, it's the same place you see the Dan in here, and it's where your word affidavit, AFO, affidavit, to pursue, what you are doing here, and affidavit, to get a sworn statement, and affidavit, and cram acid, and a cram acid ought of, if it's allowed, and put him up on the pole, ought of, if it's allowed, for what he did, and what he did is the indigenitage in tinum are to cry made of. He plans on telling everybody the cry made on it of the indigenitage, of where you come from. The indigenitage in tinum are to cry made on it of, and appertain, and pursues this, and does this, and a crim acid ought of, if it's allowed. We ought to be able to just jam a stick up his ass if he says this. And so he explains that better in where I showed it before in the New Testament. And then the K followed by the E becomes the L. And so this is a olific, like a prolific, pro for attached, the lific. This is where the attached comes from. When Levi was born, that's what his mama said. Oh, my husband will finally be attached to me. And so I call him Levi, attached. And the olific, a medicinatage. And so the olific is the old, the OWL, the owl, and the attached from the olific, and the medicinatage. And how much good it does, to stick a pole up somebody's ass and put them at the front of the city. The old medicine, the olific medicinatage, to some what of. SOM, and the double A becomes a YA. Same as the Egyptian writing, same as in the Hebrew writing. And so this is why a YA changes to a U, because if you're going to write a YA, you do it with two A's. And so sumya what of, and this is alya, sumya and alya. And the olific medicinatage to sumya what of iffy. Iffy. I ain't too sure upon it. Iffy, kind of iffy. And sumya what of iffy to what's allowed. I ain't too sure if we ought to be doing that. But alya, the double L. It's an ALYA, but all you tappy taps it. Tappy taps, lights out, go to bed. By burial you should entomb, and all you tappy taps it. of to vent, of V, coming before the E, of to event, ENT, at that time, on that day, of to event, in double H, HIM, the him here, a slain, the AE becoming an ES, and the K before the E becoming an L, in the event here, him here, a slain. Audi elector, the LEKTHR, the lecturum in as. Yeah, all the slain hotties, Audi electrum in as. Apothe, a place of as, the place of face. The cramum in as, if it's allow, and of a mummavite, and ain't saying nothing now, and be quiet. Its engine, what turns on the curious audios you ditto see. To see inkleronomy, to see one law, one law for everybody. And so this crime with the judgment of death is easier to see it here in the Hebrew. And this is written just as Latin law, a C, and here, a key, yea, evase, and here, let not be seen, yea, let be, evase, not seen, and here, let be not seen, and a key, yea, evasitum, septum what? Evasitum. Shittim is the incense of acacia. The shittim septum what? And I was telling you that they done learned how to use this drug in Genesis 3. The tree they wasn't supposed to be messing with. And so the shittim septum what? It's not the scientific name of anything. It's the code name. It's that stuff that they take by the shittim septum what? By sticking in their ass and hume it. HUMT, and hume it, and fume it. So they were blowing the smoke up their ass. And tell it at wallets, and tell it at WLOTS, and tell it at wallets, a little in, the tell it and the tell in, the little in. There's little in the wallets. Got a drug problem there. And this second N here, reading with this one, is a I, and little enable to allots, not having the ability to moderate. And seeking, CIQ, the seek, B is in, and seeking where taken ren. This R and U, this is the other half of children, the yield, and the yield is what comes from renning, screwing, and seeking in where taken ren. And byum, BYUM, buy them high, WEHY, a high wacky, WAKY, and buy 'em high wacky flight, FLYT, the high wacky flight, all 'em tell why, everybody tells why, and let, and LAT, and let damn, and damn ya, AA, and let damn ya to damn it, and that not you to defile the land. Defile the land is to put a dam on the river, and let damn ya to damn it, and block it up in there, and take as reveal, when God has given you something, he's reveal, RIEVEAL, he's revealing something to you. Every time God says, the Lord God said means as, and yammer, and the word has revealed. And damn, take as reveal, as reveille, as a wake up. and reveal a centennialic inhale. Your inheritance is the air you breathe. The inhale. And so it's talking about the old flying the broom ceremony. And here, let be evasive. The shit 'em a septum what. And women would cook up, these old witches would cook up this drug, and they would put it up the girl's ass, and then they would pimp them out while they was tripping out, and then just seeing where to take and ran by 'em high, wacky flight. And they would pimp these girls out while they was tripping. And we can see it in the New Testament where it was talking about the curse, where it says, Christ us redeemed from the curse of the law, having become for us a curse. For it has been written, cursed everyone hanging on the tree. And so this curse, the first time you see this come up, is fisted a rat's face. It's fisted a rat's face. It's EPI is upon, and if you want to pick something, a pick and afficit to affix at, afficit a cat according to, and to affix at a rat is face. And so that's some old mafia stuff there. Just like the rest of these words here. That's who could read this. To, make sure he's dead is moody moot. And to affix it a rat is face. It's somebody who's telling off, oh, that old rat face fink. Cursed. And to affix it a rat is face. That's what God said to the serpent. And this accursed you are from all the cattle and from all the wild beasts. You the worst of all of them. And you see the word the same in the Hebrew and in the Greek. You see it. What's the same is the U-R-A-T, you rat, and R rat, A-R-U, R rat. You are a rat, and affix it a rat as you damn rat, because God had lied to him. He said, oh no, don't eat of this. You will surely die. You will muty moot. But they didn't moody moot. He says, who told you? Why, the serpent told me. So now the serpent is known as a rat. And so for everybody asking what color Jesus Christ was, Jesus Christ wasn't a person. Jesus Christ was the punishment for asking, for looking at the genome as, where did we come from? Jesus Christ is the punishment for asking what color was Jesus. And so this gives a good idea of what Christ means here. And this is a cry. A cries it as come as. It's Igor is in. It's Igor. Everybody run for your life. It's Igor is in. As a vet has come out this. And so the cries it as come as, the crier, the town crier hollering. It's Igor. Everybody runs. And so Igor is all the gory little details that come under the curse, the kata. The kata gore is in. And so the cries it to is to tell off. The cries it to has come as it's the gore, its position in that kata. You can read it here as the kata and gore has in the race, the racets. The category of the races. It's the gore is in, the ugly little details. And the cries to come as it's a gore has evect. It's not in, but the evect to come out of this. A kata, according to the race of, as to venom of, this isn't law, but it's according to raise to venom of, to at that time. Everything having to do with the law had to do with the heavens. If it was in the stars, you'd get away with it. To when. It matters what time it is, what the stars were doing on that day, tuenum of. And tuenum of a genomen as the genome, your DNA. The genome and as appear common. Well, sir, it appears that we come from a common, appear common genome, have a common DNA. A cater, the one catering, the one serving, the caterer. And the cries to come as its a gore has evict this. A cater is tuenum of, a cater, the father tuenum of. A genome has appear a common, the cater, a common caterer, one father. A tidge, a graphitage. This is where your word autograph comes from. A tidge, a graphitage is the autograph of DNA, of your genome. Your genome has appear a common caterer, a common father, a tidge, a graphitage, written in the graph, where it's been written. In the ficit, a rat, and to attach it to according to the rat, to tell off as. In the ficit, a rat as face of cram 'em in, as if it's allow. So I color coded these 4 lines from Galatians 3, I believe. And this movie's long. I'll go over this later, but I want to show you where this word law is coming from. As many as for of works of the law. So if you want the law to get anything done, first he got to have a pocket full of cigars to pass out. And that's what this says. O-C, the O-I becomes an E. And cigarettes, ergonomov. The double N here becoming an N-I. And so ergonomov, ergonomics is for the good of the people, for the safety of the people, and as cigarettes of the ergonomov, the illegal ones, the works of the law, the ones that we don't think the people should have, his in of a pocket are have his in. And so he's the politician, and of cigarettes, ergonomium of his in, the ones that we ain't supposed to have under, according to apocata, a pocket are of his in. The dignitary to Cuba. And I believe it even calls them out here somewhere I was reading. And then it's just, and it has been written for. They left that out, but this is a G-A-R, and Norbatics pronounced this as charity, and this was written for charity. They were untaxed to carry, to carry the graphitage of charity, and it has the mark of charity. Cigarettes from the Red Cross. And so you can see it here, and now by the law is to enium of, the ones that you can't have, to, audi de enium of. And of the law are the ones that's to wenum of. To wenum of. Yeah, you can have them. Of the law, those are legal. And the law not is of faith. It means this is the old law. This is the mafia running things, Odinum has solistive. And Odinum has solistive, or solist in, the N can be read as a B, is in. And Odinum has solistin of fist has. I have fist. I can collect your debts for you. I'm soliciting my fist. And Odinum has solist in of fist has. And so this kind of says, that the law of government, is the church is a form of government, and your government is a form of government. But there's another one that we don't think about when we think about that. And the mafia is a form of government. They were the law. And so, they're all the three the same thing. They take your money by ways of deception or force. All right, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.